Hey guys, it's Adriana here from EduLab, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how search engines work. So first of all, what is a search engine? You probably already know this, but search engines help you navigate the internet or the World Wide Web. So they're software applications such as Google, Bing, Yahoo. You use them every day to search for things on the internet. So how do they work? So on a very primary level here, you go to Google and you type something in, such as best sunglasses, best wooden sunglasses. And then Google's going to return a bunch of results about best wooden sunglasses. So they definitely answered your question, and you're wondering, how do they know what I want? How do they always understand what I'm looking for and deliver the information that I'm looking for on the first page of results? Because there are a billion websites. So now that you have a Shopify store, you're a billion and one, basically. So how are you going to differentiate yourself in such a large, vast economy of websites? You know, there's so much competition out there. So the answer here is that Google uses 200 plus ranking factors. Because let's be honest, my grandma's website that she made yesterday about knitting is not going to have the same authority and level of legitimacy as, say, Wikipedia. They definitely rank a lot different. So we're going to talk a little bit about ranking factors and how Google understands what your website is about, and how all these other websites on the internet, they understand exactly what they're about as well. So one of the analogies that I usually use when describing how a search engine works is when you're trying to pick out a soccer team. So basically everyone wants to be picked. Everyone's saying pick me. And that's basically how your Shopify store is acting to Google, right? You're like, pick me, definitely show my website on the first page of results. I mean, who wouldn't want that? So basically Google looks at all the millions of websites out there, and they have to pick who's the best to display on the first page of results. But how do they do that? Well, there's two things that are very important, and one of them is relevancy. So how relevant is your website to the thing being searched? And second would be authority. So authority is, how legitimate is your website? How many backlinks do you have? Backlinks are external links that point from one website back to your website. So basically people are talking about your website. That's a very good thing. And authority is also having to do with, are you an expert in what you do? So basically, is your website about dog beds? Then you'll definitely want to be the expert at dog beds. So you'll want to have lots of amazing, high quality content all about dog beds. And if you do, maybe, perhaps, Google will show you on the first page of search results. So how does Google understand what your website is about? Because Google is a robot, basically, right? Google is just one big algorithm, a big bundle of code. They're not a human, they can't look at your website, so how do they understand what your website is about? This is a really great question, and the answer is that they do something called crawling and indexing. So let me describe what crawling and indexing is in a very non-technical way. So the way that Google crawls and indexes your website is every so often they will visit your website, and you can check on this through Google Search Console to see when they're indexing your website. But basically, they'll crawl your website, meaning they'll send a robot or a spider, they're the same thing, and they go through your website, through the front end and the back end, and they see what your website is all about. So they look at your content. And when I mean content, I mean they're looking at your images, the text, all of the text on your website, such as blog articles, product descriptions, meta descriptions, the titles of your products, all of that good stuff. They're also looking at the back end. So the stuff that's not readable by humans, but it is readable by robots and Google bots, and that would be stuff such as structured data, which we have covered extensively on the EduLab blog, if you're wondering what that is. And basically, these robots will look at your website and they'll look at your content and they'll archive that information. They'll say, all right, this website is all about dog beds, for example. Let's say you have a Shopify store and you sell dog beds. Well, they're gonna say, your store is all about dog beds, and we understand this because you have so many blog articles and amazing product descriptions talking all about dog beds. So they're gonna archive this information, so now Google knows that your website is about dog beds, and this is great. This is part of the ranking algorithm in which they see how good is the quality of your content, you know? How big of an authority are you? Do you have lots of press articles, a lot of backlinks, and also, are you an expert at what you do, you know? How long do people stay on your website? Are people spending 20 minutes, or are people clicking away because your website looks spammy and they don't find what they're looking for? So all of these things come together, and this is all a part of the crawling and indexing phase. And this is how Google finds out what your website is all about through your content, and they understand what all the millions of websites out on the internet, what they are all about as well. All right, now that we covered crawling and indexing, we're gonna talk a little bit about how search works on Google. So this is very important because you wanna know what your customers are searching, and you wanna understand how people search in general for products that they want to buy and for services that they want to buy in order to sell to them, basically, right? So if you understand the nature of how searches work on Google, you can make improvements on your website so that you can possibly appear in search results for these searches being made. So searches being made, and then your website, you want to bridge a connection there and have the people searching for the product go to your website, right? So how do you do that? So let's talk a little bit of the different types of searches that can be performed on Google. So the first type of search is pretty basic, right? People are going to be searching for products that they want to buy. So let's go ahead and use the example of best wooden sunglasses. So I'm typing in best wooden sunglasses into Google, and that is what I'm looking for. And Google will definitely show me a list of 10 to 15 results of online stores, and possibly online stores powered by Shopify, that sell wooden sunglasses. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that you want to make sure that Google is going to show your online store when someone searches for a product. So how do you do that? Well, the query being made, such as best wooden sunglasses, these are keywords that you need to target. So these are keywords that you can target throughout your entire website. If you had an online store that was dedicated to selling wooden sunglasses, you would want to have the term wooden sunglasses throughout your entire website. Because if you do, Google will understand that the content on your website contains this product, and they'll be more likely to show you in search results. Secondly, if you're looking for a specific brand, so I know that there's a brand called Woody Sunglasses, and I'm looking for that. So I could go onto Google and type in Woody Sunglasses, and sure enough, Google will show me the website Woody Sunglasses as the #1 result. So the point here is that you want to rank for your actual website. If you don't, that's not very good, and don't worry, you can always work on your SEO to improve this, but you'll definitely want to get a custom domain. So you don't want to keep the My Shopify domain. You want to get a custom domain, and you want to also work on improving your SEO so that you rank for the #1 result for your own brand. Because if people are looking for your actual company, you definitely want to show up as a #1 result, right? And the next search that I'm going to talk about a little bit about is local search. So a local search is if you have a company that has a physical location. Let's say you're a coffee shop that also sells coffee beans online. So you have a Shopify store online that sells coffee beans, but you also have a coffee shop. Well, you'll definitely want to rank on Google for your actual coffee shop name. And again, this is by getting a custom domain, and you can also take necessary steps such as filling out a Google My Business listing, which can help Google understand that you have a physical location. And this is great because they can show you in local searches. What is a local search? So basically, if someone says coffee shop near me and they type that into Google, Google's going to show them every coffee shop near them in their vicinity. Google knows where you are. They understand location. They understand the location that you are in. So basically, they'll show you a list of coffee shops nearby. And if you're one of those coffee shops nearby that person, you definitely want Google to show you in the search results. So that is what local search is. You can be displayed in maps. And if you're lucky, if you have great SEO, Google can display you in something called a knowledge graph, which is basically like this big box on the right-hand side of search results that will say like Joe's Coffee Shop and list your address and all your information. So that's a little bit about local searches. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope that you have a better understanding of how search engines work. It's a very complicated topic, so don't worry if you don't understand everything. We have a great blog article to accompany this. I'll put a link down below. And also, if you don't know already, EduLab makes an app called Get Clicked SEO. It's one of the top rated Shopify apps, and it's made just for Shopify. So if you have an online store with Shopify, this app can help improve your SEO. We're constantly updating it and releasing new features, so definitely check it out. I'll put a link for that as well down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with more tips and advice for Shopify online stores. Thanks, guys. Take care.